I'm Dr. LaDonna Boyd, presenting the September 2023 curriculum lessons from R.H. Boyd. These lessons are collectively entitled Love Completes, Law Falls Short, and the lessons come from the Gospels of Luke and John. You can find these lessons in the Next Gen Leaders book from R.H. Boyd. They concentrate on the following topics: empty acts of piety with performing, the justice and love of God, what activities honor the Sabbath day is a healing, and who is qualified to pass judgment. The first lesson for September 3rd is entitled Attitude and Actions. The scriptural reference is Luke chapter 11, verses 37 through 44. The lesson starts with Jesus being invited to eat at the house of a Pharisee. The formal definition of a Pharisee is a member of a Jewish sect in the intertestamental period noted for strict observance of rites and ceremonies of the written law and for insistence on the validity of their own oral traditions concerning the law. They were very concerned with adhering to the law rather than the needs of humanity, which can be hypocritical. As Jesus began to eat, the Pharisee was surprised that the Lord did not wash his hands in a ceremonial manner before eating dinner. Now, I'm also a germaphobe, so I completely understand the concern. However, the lesson here is that Jesus taught them that appearing clean on the outside, but being wicked and evil on the inside like the Pharisees, is not the appropriate way to live. Jesus was teaching that religious rituals do not make a person clean, for holiness came from what was in a person's heart. Jesus was known as a compassionate teacher of the sinners. The Pharisees were known for exploiting the less fortunate and placing heavy religious instructions upon people just to extort money from them. Jesus reprimanded them and told them that they are to clean their hearts by serving and helping others. Oftentimes, we need this reminder as well. Things can look right on the outside, but inner struggles and turmoil can wreak havoc in our lives. The lesson for September 10th is entitled Doing Good Deeds at the Wrong Time. Jesus is yet again interacting with the Pharisees. This time they were upset at him for healing a man on the Sabbath. The Sabbath day is a day of rest where no one is supposed to engage in any form of labor. Pharisees prided themselves in remaining separate from people considered less than them, yet there was a sick man that encountered Jesus at the home. In Luke chapter 14, verses 3 through 6, it says, And Jesus asked the lawyers and Pharisees, Is it lawful to cure people on the Sabbath or not? But they were silent. So Jesus took him and healed him and sent him away. Then they said to him, If one of you has a child or an ox that has fallen into a well, will you not immediately pull it out on the Sabbath day? And they could not reply to this. I can imagine how stumped they looked at this. They witnessed a miracle but were fighting the inner turmoil of adhering to the man-made expectations for their behavior. And many of us struggle with this as well. The religious elites lacked a heart of love and empathy. Christ revealed that the Sabbath was designed for people to rest and have reverence for this holiness of God. This in turn was to stimulate humanity having love and compassion towards others. We must all lead through love. The lesson for September 17th is entitled Who is Trustworthy? And it comes from John chapter 7, verses 14 through 24. In this lesson, the Lord did not condemn formal religious training, but conveyed that a genuine connection with the knowledge of God was most important. Jesus revealed that his knowledge came from an intimate relationship with the Father. His doctrine was superior to the scholarship of humans for at least two reasons. First, Jesus was taught by his Father. And second, Jesus is God, and for those reasons, the Jews should have listened to him. Just like the religious community of that time, many of us today get caught up in formality, rituals, habits, education, and so on. This will often cloud our judgment, and it misses the mark and meaning of true faith and community. During the Feast of Tabernacles, which took place around this time of year, Jesus went up to the temple and began to teach. The people were amazed, saying, How could he have such knowledge when he's never been formally taught? Jesus then gave direct credit to God for his wisdom and enlightenment. Jesus showed them that loving people was more important than debating the nuances of the law. Love cannot be properly applied without a relationship with Jesus Christ. The law of love is a central marker of Christ's interpretation of Moses' law. Any and all laws must be interpreted in the light of love. To care for another human being is always the proper thing to do because it honors the one who created them. The final lesson of the month is entitled Judge Not from John chapter 8. In this lesson, the Pharisees and scribes brought a woman to Jesus who was caught in adultery. They said that the law instructed them to stone her, but they wanted to know his opinion. In verse 7, it says, When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. We must all remember that we are guilty of committing sin, and we are not to condemn others. When Jesus gave them this response, they all started to leave one by one. In verses 10 through 11, it says, Jesus straightened up and said to her, Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you? She said, "No one, sir." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go your way, and from now on do not sin again." We must remember that it is often the man or woman in the mirror that needs to be corrected and leave all other judgment to God. A key point to embrace from this lesson is that Jesus directs the repentant to go forward and sin no more. Jesus did not come to catch sinners in their sins. He already knows everything. He came to deliver sinners from their sins. Again, I'm LaDonna Boyd, and I hope that you enjoyed these lessons. Don't forget to comment, like, and share. Also, check us out on our social media accounts at RHBoydCo and visit our website, www.rhboyd.com, for additional tools and resources.